Hey everybody, welcome to today's topic, intuition. Super excited to have you here with me today. We're going to start, like we always do, with covering the chakra that is associated with our topic. Today, our chakra is chakra 6, our third eye or our brow chakra. So let's dive into the details about this chakra really quick. So your 6th chakra, like I said, your third eye or your brow chakra is right up here on your forehead. Like if you were a cyclops, that's where your eye would be. It is the color of indigo. It has to do with self-reflection and knowing. Your simple I am statement for this chakra is I am connected. And its element is light. Don't we all love being in the light? And it's your sixth sense or your divine inspiration. So if we were to ball this up in a few affirmations that would describe this chakra, it's I see the big picture, I trust and follow my intuition, I'm connected to comprehension, and I see opportunities. That's what it's all about. So when we are in balance in our third eye, that's how our world exists. So let's talk about the attributes of this chakra. So the attributes are extrasensory perception, questioning, spiritual, perceptive, knowing, self-mastery, wisdom, intuition, imagination, clairvoyance, manifestation. Aren't those all lovely attributes that we'd love to have? Now, if our chakra is a little overactive, these are some of the ways we might be behaving. Overly analytical, proud, egomaniac, overly intellectual, mental rigidity, manipulative, or a religious dogmatic. Yeah. Maybe you've met some people like that. Hopefully you're not on that list. Now, if it's underactive, this is how you might be feeling. Lack of foresight, undisciplined, selective memory. None of us have that, right? Depression, unclear thought, non-assertive, delusional, can't tell inner from outer reality, confused about personal identity, schizophrenic, or afraid to claim your personal power. We're going to talk a little bit about personal power today. You know, we talk about that a lot, and even though that's our third chakra, it seems to come up in all the rest, making sure that we claim our personal power and don't give it away. So let's talk about a balanced 6th chakra. When it's balanced, this is how we are. We are non-attached to material things, open and receiving to spiritual guidance, healthy perception of reality, disciplined, master of self, and not afraid of death. Isn't that an interesting one to have on there? But it's because you're connected to the divine. You get it. You see the big picture. And doesn't that sound peaceful and great? I know. All right, body systems associated with this chakra. Your pituitary gland, your endocrine system, your neurological system, left brain hemisphere, left eye, nose, ears, sinuses, conscious mind, and small muscle control. Yeah, got any problem with any of those? You might want to check into your chakra and see how it's doing. Associated disease or dis-ease, you know, because they're just a momentary issue and it can be changed. So things that we might be experiencing that could be related to this chakra are addiction, depression, panic attacks, headaches, migraines, brain cysts, tumors, strokes, dizziness, blindness, earaches, deafness, seizures, learning disabilities, spinal issues, insomnia, sinus problems, and hormonal imbalances. It's a long list, isn't it? It's always amazing to me how everything is so interconnected within our bodies and our energy systems, and what a blessing that is because we can pull it all together and have such great healing. So there is your quick rundown on your 6th chakra, your third eye, also known as your brow, because this is your brow, forehead, brow. Anyway, we are going to now delve into the specifics of intuition. How you feel about that? I know, exciting, huh? Okay, intuition. What is intuition? We're going to do a little definition here just to make sure we're all on the same page. Intuition is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. It's the ability to acquire knowledge without proof, evidence, or conscious reasoning, or without understanding how the knowledge was acquired. It's you just know. You don't have to have the scientific proof. You don't have to have the background behind it. You just trust it and you go with it. It's that instinct. It's more than instinct though, but it's like instinct. You just know and you follow it. So how do you know when you get a little thought if it's truly intuition, if it's this divine guidance that you're hearing, or if it's just your ego? So we're going to use the light method. I know you've heard me talk about it before if you've followed me for a while, but the light method is the way that you know where this is coming from. Remember, L, your head can lie to you. You have to get out of your head. That's where the reasoning comes in. That conscious mind comes in and starts mulling it around and says, this can't be true. It's not going to work. What are you thinking? Why would you want to do that? Get out of your head. Your head can lie to you. Your heart usually has your best interest in mind, but sometimes it can ignore those warning signs. It can ignore those things out there that are saying, oh, I know it's such a wonderful idea and you would love that and you really just want to help those people, so yeah, just do it. Even though you're going to have to break some of those things that are really important to you that you've committed to do. Go ahead and do it anyway because I know how much this would mean to you and you've been longing to have this for so long. They ignore those warning signs that maybe this is the right thing but it's not the right timing, or maybe it's not even really the right thing, it just feels good right now because it's the desire of your heart at the moment, but for your long-term good it's not the right thing. So it ignores those warning signs. But your gut tells the truth. T, L-I-T. Lies, ignores, truth. Your gut tells you the truth. That's where your instinct comes from, you know, when you just know, don't touch that rattlesnake. I don't know why, but don't touch it, okay? That is your instinct coming through. And that you feel in your gut. I have a friend, I've had her for years. She's been my friend for years. And from the very beginning, she was always really good at feeling things and knowing things in her gut. And I'm telling you, half the time I thought maybe she was crazy, and I'm like, I second guessed her. I was up in my head. And every time her gut is right. So follow your gut. That is where the truth is. That's how you know if you're up in your head in your ego, or if you're really following what is your inspiration. Okay. Next one. Oh, how do we get these nudges? So like everyone is different. We all have different ways that we receive intuition. Some people, just know. Some people see it. Some people hear it. We're going to talk about how that is. There are 6 different clairs, and these are divine gifts. Each of us have at least one of them. So these these 6 clairs are the way that we receive our inspiration or our intuitive nudges, so to speak. And so knowing which one of these clairs that you align with the most is going to help you hone that intuition. So let's talk about the 6 clairs. The first one is clairvoyance. And this is one who sees clearly. This is your third eye, your mind's eye. It is seeing images in the mind. So like it's not like you hear words, hear someone talking to you or something like that. You just see the images and you just know that's what we need to go. It's like, I saw in my mind that we're going to be at the beach on Friday or whatever. And then lo and behold, you're at the beach on Friday. I got it, oops, a little thing on there. It's driving me crazy. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I saw it in my mind. I see the picture, or I know how to solve the problem because I can see it right in front of me. I know who I need to talk to. Her face just popped into my mind. That is clairvoyance. Clairaudience has to do with hearing and listening. It's spiritually hearing words or phrases in your head. So like it will be, instead of seeing someone's face, you'll actually, like in the back of your mind, you'll hear this whisper that says, go visit Debbie. Did you hear that? So you just hear it in your mind. Go visit Debbie. Take that test. Turn left. You're going to hear those words in your mind. And that is clairaudience. You hear things. Claircognizance is sometimes called truth knowledge, and it's just that inner knowing. You just know. You don't know how you know, you just know. I'm more of a claircognizance person. I don't generally see images. Sometimes I do hear the words. I have a little clairaudience, but I am more of a I just know. I don't know why. I don't know how. I can't explain it to you. My husband's very logical. He doesn't understand this concept in me, that I just know. I just know this is what we need to do. And it's just like something clicks. And so it's just an inner knowing without any reason for it. So that's claircognizance. Oh, I missed one. That's why. Clairsentience. Clairsentience is when information comes by physically touching something or someone. You think about this. So it's like if I touch this tree, and then all of a sudden something comes to me that, for whatever reason, that could be related to a tree or whatnot. You've seen it like on crazy TV shows where someone's very psychic and they'll touch the book and they'll be like, oh, I know how she died. You know, she was reading this book and someone came and stabbed her. I mean, you know, it's that kind of thing. They touch it and then they get the knowledge that they need. So it comes through a sense of touch. They brush by someone and touch them, and then all of a sudden they have that intuition come to them on whatever it was that touching that person brought to them. Clairalience is from smelling. So the knowledge comes from smelling. So it might be that maybe you're sitting in church listening to a sermon and all of a sudden you start smelling hot buttered popcorn, and somehow that leads you to remember that your sister is coming or you get this note that your sister's going to be coming because she loves she loves movie popcorn, and that's how you know, because you smell it even though there's no popcorn in the church. Does that make sense? I know these sound kind of crazy, but and the last three, the touch, the scent, and the one we're going to talk about next with just taste, those are less prevalent, but they're there. There are some people who are very strong in those areas. So anyway, that's clairsentient. Clairalience. Clairgustance, it's also known as clairsentience. Clairgustance is the one through taste. So they get a taste in their mouth. It's not like they're eating something and it reminds them. They will actually get the taste of donuts in their mouth when they're not eating donuts because they know the cops are coming, right? And that lets them know the cops are coming. I mean, that's kind of a silly thing, but that's what that's like. Okay, so those are the 6 clairs. So you need to identify which clair you best associate with. Which one speaks to you? How do you get your nudges? And when you do that, then you start to build on that. So you start to, okay, I get mine through touch. All right, so I now recognize that when I touch someone and I get those thoughts, those feelings, those promptings, whatever they are I get when I touch, I know that that is my intuition, and it's time for me to start paying attention and act upon that. Or when I hear those phrases or see those images, I now know that's it, and I'm gonna watch for that, and I'm going to expect it. So finding out what works naturally for you, the most natural way that you receive your intuition, and then focusing on that is going to help you build it and make it more prevalent in your life. Okay, so that's tip number 1. I don't know if it's really a tip, but that's the first thing you need to know, is how you get your intuition. How does your divine power speak to you? Because everybody's different. And just because it works one way for me doesn't mean it works the same way for you or Joe down the street. Everybody's different. So figure out what works for you and then accentuate that. Now, here are your six more tips, or 6 tips for building and expanding your intuition. Okay, number 1, feel, don't think. Again, thinking is your ego, right? It's all that logical. That's the overactive brow chakra. When you're too logical, that's not going to help you. So get out of your head and into your feeling, your heart and your gut, pulling those two together. Feel it in your heart and then ask your gut if it's right, okay? So feel, don't think. Number 2 is get organized. I know this one might sound kind of crazy, but if you're in a chaotic state, you have mess all around you in your space, you have energetic mess in your head, either one, you're not going to be as open and receptive to your intuition. There's just too much interference. The fun part about this is, as you clean up your physical space, it also cleans up your energetic space, and vice versa. When you start cleaning up your energetic clutter, then you start having this desire to clean up your physical space, and you just do it. And it comes naturally and easily. And as you do this, as you clean out all the clutter and all the interference, call it static. All of this disorganization is static. You think about when you have 3,000 things running through your mind, you really think that intuition, those promptings are going to be able to get through? Heck no, they're going to get stuck over here behind, clean out the dog cage or whatever. It's just not going to happen. So you've got to clean things up and get organized so that those thoughts can come through. Okay, number 3, engage in repetitive movement. Again, this is about getting out of your head and into your heart and your gut. So think about some repetitive things you do. Run, dance, walk, chop carrots, play the piano, paint. These are all things that kind of get you in a, right? And as you're doing those things, maybe riding a horse, that would be fun. Riding a horse, right? You're just going on, as you do this, all of that craziness around you, that static that we were talking about, it starts to clear out and open up for you. And then all of a sudden, like I like to walk in the morning. I try to do it every morning. I kind of failed lately, but it's my time when I get out and I can think. And it is amazing the thoughts that will come to me as I'm out there just walking, trip, trot, through the neighborhood. And because I've got this repetitive motion, it's keeping my brain active to, I got to keep my feet moving so I don't trip and fall. And my mind just starts thinking and thoughts start coming to me and ideas start coming to me. That's my intuition talking to me. And so I've opened up the window so it could come in, because I took my conscious brain and put it on automatic over here so I didn't have to deal with it, so that things could come through. So if you're struggling and you're trying to get the answer to something, do something repetitive. See if you can get yourself to open up and relax. Let your mind go to sleep and let your subconscious, your intuition come through and speak to you. All right, number 4. This one's one of my favorites. Well, let me tell you number 4. Ask a question, write answers, write nudges, and journal. Okay, you all know journaling is one of the things I really am a proponent of, and I'm not very good at. But when I do, it's amazing. So let's start with asking questions. How do you expect to get answers if you haven't even asked the question? Think about that. If you're just waiting for intuition to come and tell you what to do today, you're probably not going to get a lot of response. But if you're going to ask the question, I'm really thinking about going to the mall or cleaning my house. Guide me. What's the best thing for me to do today? And then ask the question. I know that's kind of a crazy thing, but ask. You're not going to get answers if you don't ask. You're not going to get those intuitive thoughts if you haven't asked the question. So ask the question. And then number 2, when thoughts come to you, whatever they be, write them down. Keep a little notebook with you, a piece of paper, something, so you can write them down. There are neurological studies that show that you have 37 seconds. Once a thought comes to you, one of those nudges, when it comes to you, you have 37 seconds before it's gone. Okay, I don't know about you, but 37 seconds is not very long for me. And if I've got to remember it past that, it's going to have to be written down. So 37 seconds to write it down so that you don't forget. So make sure you write these nudges down. The other thing that will do for you is help you recognize how many you're getting. Because I think a lot of times we think we're not intuitive and we're not getting answers and we're not being prompted in any way, shape, or form. But the fact is we are all day long. We just don't realize it because it's just a natural way of being. We just think it's, just the way it is. But really, it really is our intuition speaking to us and telling us things. So write them down. And remember that 37-second rule. I know that's so short, right? Okay, 37 seconds to write it down. And then if you're really struggling to figure out how to do this, if you haven't been practicing it, it's hard. It can seem hard and it can seem challenging, and you can look at some people and think, how do they know? Great example. So way back in my youth, when I was 18 years old, my friend and I traveled in my car an hour and a half from where we lived. We were living on our own, out of high school and living on our own. And we traveled from one city to another to go to a rock concert, my first one. And we had stayed the night in that city. On our way home, the car broke down on the freeway. Okay, this was a little bit scary, right? So we were pulled over on the side of the freeway and we're both scared to death. We're two little 18-year-old girls sitting there on the side of the freeway thinking, oh my gosh, we can't get out of the car, someone will kill us. And so we're pulled over, and way before cell phones, right? So we're on the side of the freeway in my little car, and we decide we're just gonna lay down so nobody will there. So we recline the seats back, and we're laying there, right? And we're just like, what are we gonna do? I don't know, what should we do? I don't know. And all of a sudden my friend says to me, I just feel like we should sit up. And I'm like, well, I don't. And so she, yeah, I really feel like it, and all of a sudden, so we sit up. And then right after that, someone stops, and it just happens to be a relative of hers. And so that relative helped us. Now, this is someone who was paying attention and had the gift of inspiration or intuition that I didn't feel like I had. And I can't remember if they started the car or towed us. I can't remember. It was too long ago, but somehow we were rescued. But it always bothered me that I didn't get that nudge. I'm like, why didn't I get it? Well, later I found out that at the same time, my father was traveling the opposite direction on that freeway. So we were going north and he was going south, and he saw my car, but he had to go way south to get a turnaround to come back. And he actually turned around, came back to come rescue us, but we were already gone when he got there. And so isn't that interesting? But I thought to myself, like at first I thought, I just don't have, I don't have intuition. I'm not inspired. I don't get anything. But what happened was she got the nudge to sit up because it was someone she knew. And her energy, herself, her soul knew it was safe. My energy didn't know that. Mine's like, I don't know these people. But my dad was coming and my energy knew that. And so I firmly believe that my intuition or my divine knowing would have prompted me to sit up when it was time for my dad to come. Isn't that an interesting story? I've pondered on that for, I don't know, like 20 years, or how old am I now? I don't know. Anyway, for 30 years. And I always thought I was not intuitive, but now I recognize that maybe it was different than I thought. But anyway, okay, I digress. Where was I? Oh, sometimes we think we're not intuitive, and so we have to flex that muscle. A way we can do that is through journaling. So there's two ways you can do this. One, you can just get out your piece of paper and write a question with your dominant hand. And then put your pen or pencil in your non-dominant hand and let it write the answer. It's crazy, but that's when your intuition will come in and write the right answer for you, whatever that be. Another way you can do that is to actually write a letter to your higher power and just ask, pour your heart out, tell them whatever you need to tell, and then let your higher power write back to you. You don't have to switch hands for this one. You just have to let it flow and don't guide it. Get out of your head and just let whatever comes. It takes a little practice, but it helps you get into that spirit, that flow of feeling things on a different level and letting go of the head and starting to just let your intuition guide and come through. So those are two things you can do there. One of my favorite books is The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. And one of the things that she teaches is to ask the question, but then, as she puts it, demand a demonstration. So here's a quote from Florence. I have often been asked just how to make a demonstration. I reply, speak the word and then do not do anything until you get a definite lead. That would be your inspiration. Demand the lead, saying, Infinite Spirit, reveal to me the way. Let me know if there is anything for me to do. The answer will come through intuition or a hunch, a chance remark from someone, or a passage in a book, etc. And that's true. That's how things come to us. It's like you'll see a billboard and then all of a sudden you'll know, oh, that is what I should do. Or you'll walk past a dog and he'll be wearing a cute little scarf and then you'll go, oh, yes, yellow is the color I need to paint my bedroom. I mean, whatever that is, watch for those things. Expect it to happen. Florence also adds that when desiring for answers or guidance, man must make the first move. You have to ask. You can't just sit around and think, well, I'm pretty sure that my divine power will just send me what to do today. I'm not even going to ask anything about it. I'm just going to just sit here and wait. Yeah, that's not how it works. You have to ask. You've got to get out there and do some pondering yourself and then ask, hey, I'm heading down this road. I desire to have this experience. Show me how to get it. You know, how do I get it? And then be open to those promptings. Demand a lead. Okay. Number 5, listen, trust what comes to you, and take immediate action. So these nudges that come are very subtle. If you're not paying attention, you're not going to see them. You have to be listening, watching, paying attention. You've got to slow your life down. Some of us stay so busy with so many great things that we don't have time to hear. And I'm going to say hear, which it may come, it may come to you audible. It may come as a vision, like images in your mind. It may be something you see, something someone says to you, but we aren't ready to hear. We are so busy, we don't take time to listen. And so we've got to open up, slow down, and listen. My examples are really silly, I know. But this is like the most profound example for me of my first recollection of really having intuition. So this was probably maybe like 25 years ago. And I was getting ready to go on a trip and I was packing my bag. And it was way back when I used a pump hairspray. And I'm a little bit high maintenance. I admit it, and if I had gotten to the hotel room and not had my hairspray to do my hair in the morning, I would have been in a little bit of a panic. Anyway, so I'm packing my bag and I put this brand new bottle of hairspray in because I'm like, oh, my other one's almost gone and I don't want to run out, right? And this was back in the early 90s. And so I've got all this stuff in there, I'm packing my bag, getting ready to go, and I had the thought, check your hairspray, or something like that. And I thought, but it's a brand new bottle. But I didn't let that go. I said, all right, I'll check my hairspray. So I get it out, I go to spray it, it wouldn't spray. I'm like, what? No spray, nothing coming out. So I opened it up and the tube thing was not open. And so you couldn't get anything out of it. And so I took the tube off, or the sprayer part off of my old bottle, put it on my new bottle, made sure it sprayed, put it in my bag. Now, I know that is silly, and to so many of you that would just mean nothing, right? But to me, that was huge. That was a huge sign that I had received something. I had received a nudge, I had listened, and I had taken action. And that was the start of me learning how to improve upon my ability to receive these nudges. So the key here is listen. You got to be quiet and listen. Pay attention, hear it, and then take action. Trust what comes to you. Trust it. Check your hairspray, Carolyn. Really? Yep. Okay. I'll check my hairspray. And then take action and do it. That is how you do it. So sometimes nudges might come to you that you think are really silly and stupid, like my hairspray example. But that is how you start building this intuitive muscle. You have to listen, trust it, even if it seems silly, and then take action. You may or may not recognize what has happened for you in the moment. You know, you might do it, take the action, and not see how it made any difference in the world. But if you follow it, you're going to continue to hear, and I say hear because I don't know how you get your messages, but you're going to hear these nudges, and then you're going to get more and more and more, because you're getting these nudges all day long. They're coming to you all day long. You're just not hearing them. So, okay. Anything else on that? Oh yeah, and if you don't start taking action, you don't start listening and taking action, pretty soon you're going to become deaf, or they're just not going to come to you at all. Like, you're going to become deaf to hearing them, you won't hear them at all, or they'll just kind of stop coming. Because how often have you tried to help someone and they just won't hear you, they won't do it, they won't follow through or whatever? Pretty soon you stop helping them, right? You're just like, well, it's falling on deaf ears, so I'm probably not going to say that again. Even though I know it would help them, even though I know they would be better if they did that, I'm just going to mind my peace. That's how your intuition works. If you don't follow through, if you don't take action, if you don't trust, you're not going to hear it. It's not going to come to you anymore. So you got to do it, even if it seems silly. And let go of second guessing and doubt. We second guess ourselves a lot, and that's the ego. That is our brain. That's the logical side coming in and saying, why would you want to do that? That doesn't even make any sense. Or how would you know that? You can't know that. You're not a scientist. You know, so let go of that. Let go of doubt. Let go of second guessing and follow it. Just trust it. Trust your gut. Trust your gut. Okay. Now we're on number 6. I know this is a really long video, huh? Number 6. Open your heart and be open to receiving. This one's a big one. So how do you open your heart, and why do you need to? Let's talk about it. First of all, you open your heart by welcoming and embracing the emotions of love, gratitude, charity, and compassion. You cultivate that energy in your heart. You allow it in, and you push out anything that is not in harmony with those things. Love, gratitude, charity, and compassion. That is what you want in your heart. And you want it to blossom and grow in there. It's a love of others, and it's a love of self. You have to love both. So I want you to think about mother's intuition. You've heard about it a lot. Perhaps you've experienced it yourself, either on the giving or receiving end. Why is there such a thing as mother's intuition? I believe it's because the mother has a perfect love for the child. They love them. And I might say unconditional, but I think all love is unconditional. But if that works better for you, but it's a perfect love. They love you, period. Just as your higher power loves you, period. And so they have that special connection. There's that place in their heart. Let me make sure I'm saying this right. As a mother, you have a place in your heart for that child, period. There is a love there. It's a pure love. So when you have a pure love for someone, you're open. You've got those feelings of, what are they again? Love, gratitude, charity, and compassion for that person. It's 100% or more. And so that opens up the intuitive door for that child. And that's where that love comes in. So if you want to have intuition for yourself, those intuitive nudges, it's learning to love yourself. Pure love for yourself. Pure love for your fellow beings. This is how you start to cultivate that and open those doors for those intuitive nudges to come to you. One of the important parts in learning to do this is forgiveness. My mentor, Carolyn Cooper, puts it like this: forgiveness does not condone what the other did. It just drains that emotional abscess from your heart, your energy, and your life. Think about that. It is a way of taking your power back. There's your 3rd chakra again, owning your personal power. It is a way of taking your power back. When you are being unforgiving, you're giving your power to that other individual. I don't know where I wrote that, but basically, when you forgive someone, it does not condone the act. It doesn't say that it was okay. It just lets you be free. It lets you be free. And it can fill that pain with love. And that's what you're seeking. Remember, love is such a high vibrating emotion, and that's going to get you where you want to be. When your heart is open, intuition shows up. Oh, I really love this. So your ego doesn't want to be hurt or humiliated, and that's why it keeps you in an unforgiving state. Okay? It keeps you stuck in this unforgiveness, because it's like, they hurt me and I am going to make them pay. Well, it's not hurting anyone but you, really. You holding on to that. And so your soul, which is your spirit and your body and your spirit combined to make your soul wants to be relieved of that burden. It's a heavy burden to carry. And it's painful for your soul to carry that. And so you are showing love and gratitude to your soul when you allow yourself to forgive. And remember, your ego is not who you really are. Your ego is just this creature you've created on this planet. And your soul is who you really are. So who do you want to serve, your ego or your soul? I encourage you to serve your soul. Nourish your soul by being a participant of forgiveness. Okay, quick recap. Number 1, your intuition is there to keep you on the path of where you want to go and who you want to be. It's all about, I see the big picture. And don't let your ego get in the way. Number 2, focus on your nudges and how they naturally come to you. Focus how your nudges naturally come to you. Which Claire are you? And let that be your guiding force. If you feel it, if you just know it, go with it. If you see images, go with it. If you taste things and know stuff, go with it. Whatever it is, choose your Claire that naturally comes for you and go with it. Number 3, feel, don't think. Get out of your head. Get out of your ego. Number 4, get organized. Clean out all that static, physically and emotionally. Number 5, engage in repetitive movement to get your mind out and your 3rd eye open. Remember, that's like chopping carrots, running, so your mind can wander. Ask questions, write down answers and nudges, journal. Number 7, listen, trust, and take immediate action. That one's so big. Listen for those nudges, trust that they're right, and take immediate action. Don't forget on the last one, you've only got 37 seconds to write it down. And number 8, open your heart and be open to receiving. Open to receiving those nudges. All right, I got a bonus for you. You ready for this? Okay, so we all know we got a whole bunch of information here and you're probably like on overflow. But this is one more bonus to keep getting you opening up that 3rd eye. And that is that your body is your antenna to your intuition, right? If you've got a bunch of static, that intuition's gonna have a hard time getting those messages through. So take care of your body. Get enough sleep, drink lots of water, eat foods that your body loves. Don't eat those foods your body doesn't love. Spend time exercising, moving, stretching, loving your body. Get grounded. Go outside. Walk around on your bare feet in the dirt and the grass. Take in deep breaths of fresh air. Cleanse your body so that it can be open to receiving. All right. Oh, and one more thought. If you look back if you study all these scientists and inventors and all these great people, most of the time when they got their big ideas, they were not in the laboratory. So if you're having a hard time coming up with answers or getting the inspired thoughts that you need, do something different. Get out of the house, get out of the office, get out of the car, get out of wherever you are and do something different. Take a little break, get out of the laboratory and see what happens.